Sneaky Nation, welcome back for another episode in our Warframe Let's Play series. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about all the requirements for the War Within update that's coming out next month. And we're also going to go over a lot of different changes that have happened in the game since our last episode, such as the new Relic system and also the new navigation menu, and a quick look at the market as well. So as always, let me know by clicking like on the video if you enjoy and you want to see more videos like this in the future. And let's do this. Alright everybody, so there are a number of requirements that you must complete in order to take part in the War Within update when it comes out. It's supposed to be coming sometime in November. I'm not sure exactly when. It might even be delayed again, who knows. It's really up in the air, we'll see though. But we have to complete a number of different quests. Most of these have been in the game for a long time, so you most likely have already completed them. And then also complete various junctions that are available in the navigation menu since they switched it over in that update not too long ago. So the first one we must complete is Vor's Prize. And then we have to do Once Awake. Of course, we have to do the Arcwing, and then Stolen Dreams, which I have not done on my PC account yet. I still have to do that. Get around to it soon. The New Strange, which I actually have not even started yet either, so I'm gonna have to go get that one as well. And then finally, the Second Dream. Now, most of these I have made videos on, with the exception, of course, of Stolen Dreams and, of course, the New Strange. But you can find all that information in my playlist if you go search for it if you haven't already done this yet. And then that brings us to the Junctions. Now, I actually haven't even gone over this information yet in this Let's Play series, and I do want this to be more complete, so I'm going to also add this as part of the video too. We're going to look at how exactly the navigation menu changed and what the Junctions are. We're going to play a little bit of the Junction too, go over the requirements. But I'm also just going to really quick go over all the Junctions you must complete in order to be ready for the War Within. So number 1 is the Venus Junction. Number 2, the Mercury Junction. Number 3, the Mars Junction. 4, the Ceres Junction. 5, the Jupiter Junction. 6, the Phobos Junction. 7, the Europa Junction. 8, the Saturn Junction. 9, the Uranus Junction. 10, the Neptune Junction. 11, the Pluto Junction. And finally 12, the Sedna Junction. So that's essentially the gist of all the information the developers have given out at this point of time, but they also said that there are a number of subset requirements that branch off of each quest and also junction. Like for example, they said the Sedna Junction here also requires crafting a weapon of Master Rank 5 or higher. So there's going to be all kinds of other requirements built into this, so who knows. Most likely if you're a veteran of the game at this point, you're already ready to go, but there could still be some random ones that maybe you haven't even thought of. Like, I've been playing this game for a while myself, and I'm sure there's probably some mix in, especially because I'm going to be waiting for the PC version. I'm obviously slacking on the PC version right now, but we're going to get ready for the War Within when it comes out. Now, if for some reason you don't know what the War Within is just yet, maybe you've been living under a rock, maybe you haven't played the game in a while, or maybe you're just not keeping up to date with all the news coming out, it's the new quest that's supposed to be coming in the next big update. It's supposed to be very cinematic, just like the Second Dream quest. It has actual cutscenes. And if you've been following the series, you know that I'm a big fan of the Second Dream, just as most people were, and it added a lot of new cool features to the game as well. So I have high hopes for the War Within when it does come out. I'm really excited. I'm sure you are too. But that's all of the actual information on that for this part of the video. Now we're going to move on to the information on how the game's changed since our last video in this series. So they've changed around a lot of different things. Obviously right now you can see the navigation menu is quite different. They've separated the planets, and I think it's cooler because it kind of went back to the way the navigation menu used to work when I first started playing, but it's also different in numerous ways as well. It looks a lot more high-tech too now, a lot cooler in that sense. But, let's see, so let's just go to Earth for starters. So you still play through the missions mission by mission, and you continue along the path, and you unlock the missions as you go. If you've already unlocked the missions, then obviously they'll be available to you right away. They also added the Void as its own planet now, so you no longer need keys to get there, and that's because they've added new Fissure Missions, which we'll be going over in a little bit. So now there's a whole path you must unlock here, and obviously I haven't played this too much on PC, so I don't have too many of these unlocked. I don't even have all these unlocked yet on PS4 because, I mean, the Void really isn't as important to play anymore. Like, that was the go-to place back when it was the endgame content in the game, but now it's not really so much anymore. But now we also have these junctions in the game, so we went over those really quick. Essentially, we need all these to do the war with him. We need to complete all of them. But as you can see, each of these has a number of different requirements. This one has 5. Let's see how many this one has. This one has 4, so it seems to fluctuate between 4 and 5. But just as an example, on the Venus Junction, we need to complete Vor's Prize, collect 20 mods, apply 4 mods to a single Warframe or weapon, upgrade any mod to rank 2 or higher through the fusion process, and then finally, defeat 3 Xmas enemies on Earth. So most likely, if you're playing the game just in the regular way, you're going to unlock all those anyway. And then you'll see at the bottom scrolling all the different rewards we can get after we do so. What we have to actually do is, once we get a check next to all 5 of those, we go to the Junction, we fight a Spectre, and then we come back and we get all the rewards. Now, most of these seem to vary between like different weapon blueprints, different mods, and some of them even give us the access to different quests as well. Now, let's take a quick look-see at the Junction. Well, that's odd. This Spectre's actually talking to me. Okay. Alright, so anyways, we come here. I'm pretty sure all of the different Junctions have the same tile set. So we get a list of all the requirements here again. If they're all checked, that means we can activate this and confront the Spectre, who is kneeling down over there. This one has Rhino, who's only level 5, so we're going to wreck his day right now. So it's going down. I don't think that was going to be a one-shot kill. It's so wrecked. Poor guy. Just for good measure to make sure he's in fact dead. He was about to activate his iron skin, but I guess I got the shut off just in time. Alright, but anyway, so after we kill him, if this was the first time I completed it, we'd be able to activate this, and these two would come together, they shoot out a laser beam, and we go back to the ship and collect our rewards. Now, of course, because there are so many different Junctions, it's going to take a while to unlock them all unless you've already completed them without even realizing it, but I'll have to check on that for myself. So, the new market, they've given this a complete overhaul the way it looks. And it does work pretty well. It's a little bit confusing at first. Like, for example, when I was trying to figure out how to get to the Warframes, I thought every one of these were the options over here you could click on. I didn't realize you could click on these. But even after doing this, I thought that this just meant you were going to buy the Warframe outright with Platinum. I didn't realize that you just have to go into one that you want. Let's just choose one we haven't gone yet, like Zephyr. On my PC account anyway. So it tells you up here, 275 Platinum to purchase. Now, this one's not available here because obviously she's available only in the Clan Dojo. So, Mirage, we'll see we can buy the blueprint down here so we don't have to actually buy it with Platinum. Just make sure we click on the right option. We can also add it to our wish list. And I'm assuming that other players can see that so that they can buy it for you if they see that you want it. Kind of like how Steam works. And then it also branches off in all these other different options too. So, it does look a lot fancier now, so I definitely approve of this myself. And you can also search now too, which is interesting. Like, let's just search for Excalibur, for example. Excalibur. And then we can see all the different things that are attached to him. Whoa, what is this? There are a lot of skins available on the PC version that are not available on consoles, which just makes me a lot more tempted to get this. This looks so awesome. Okay, I need to leave here. I'm going to spend all day in here looking at all these different skins I haven't noticed yet. Okay, so now that we've gone over that, we can also go down here. After completing one of the Junctions, you'll get the segment to open this, which allows us to go in and mess around with our Void Relics and make them more powerful. So, previously we needed to use Void keys to access the endgame content. Now they've converted all of those keys over to Relics, and these are now what you find on missions when you complete them as the different rewards. And then each of these corresponds to different actual rewards that you can receive. So you don't necessarily just go in and get the reward that the game tells you you're going to receive. Like, before you knew what the keys potentially could drop, and now it actually tells you everything right in the game. Like, for example, the xxS1 Relic can drop a Forma, a Bronco Prime Receiver, Bronco Prime Blueprint, Ak Bronco Prime Link, Trinity Prime Blueprint, and the Sinnoh Prime Blade. Now, these are the most likely that you're going to find. You'll see the chance of actually seeing them. By the way, once you complete a mission, you'll actually get to choose the reward. It'll give you, usually it gives like 3 options. Sometimes I think I've seen 4 options that you can choose. And you can choose which one you want. And then the more difficult ones are down here, like the Sinnoh Prime is going to be pretty hard to get. Pretty rare showing up with that, but you can actually improve your chances of getting it with the Void Traces. So void traces are given to you once you complete the relic missions. We'll go over that in a little bit later in the video. So you can spend those void traces. They only let you actually store up to 700, so you have to make sure you're using them as you get them so you don't waste your time, essentially, kind of like I've done with all the syndicate points before. And the more you spend, the greater chance you can get of getting one of these rarer items. So for example, Radiant is the highest end, and I made my Axii V1 relic a Radiant. So now you can see exactly how the bars over here had fluctuated. For all the unranked ones, they're all similar. The first three are all filled in almost all the way, and then these next ones are halfway, and then like, I don't know, let's say like 2/10 of it, 1/5. And then the Radiant, you can see, has bumped this up to about halfway, and then it dropped these down to make up for it. So we have a much greater chance of getting the Vauban Prime Chasey now. Then that brings us back to the navigation menu. So if we go down here, this is the Fissure tab up here. And this tells us exactly what kind of relic we need to access these missions. These do change. Like, you can see how much time is left. In 7.5 minutes, this one will disappear. Something else will appear in its place. And then Axii, Neo, Meso, and then Lift. So we go into one. We have to choose which relic we want to use, so we just look through these, find exactly which blueprint we're looking for, something that we've been searching for, maybe something we just want to sell, maybe something we want to build. And just for an example, I mean, on my PC account I most likely need almost anything, so let's just use this one for example. Equip for mission, and then it just tells you it's going to be consumed once you extract, so you have to make sure once you go in here you collect all of the reactants that drop. Alright, so we got one of these reactants to drop. As you can see, we always have to collect 10 of them in order to get the reward at the end of the game. So you have to make sure before you extract, you collect all 10. So make sure you're in communication with your team, of course. Another one dropped. They're dropping like crazy over here. One thing you have to be sure of is that you're actually picking up when you run over them, because it seems to be kind of finicky if it's going to pick it up or not. Like, I've ran over so many of them, and even like running over the same one twice, it would not pick it up. So just make sure you're collecting them. And there we go, we collected all 10, so you can see it gave us 6 void traces at the bottom of the screen. That is now 6 more towards our 700 maximum that we can use to make better relics. Don't mess with Titania. She'll arc-wing your asses. Another cool thing that they've added to the game are these little deposits that are resource deposits that are scattered around all the different environments. So you have to keep an eye out for them. They look different on every planet. This one here is a Gallium Deposit, so we can actually get some Gallium. It's pretty cool. Got 2 right from that. The enemies still drop them, by the way, but it's just like an extra way of getting some more. What's this one? Oh, we got some more Gallium. 6 Gallium from that. That can drop so much. This is also a nice new feature, by the way, that seemed to have popped up randomly during this last update. Okay, now we properly extracted, and of course it's only going to show us one that we can choose. Every other time we get multiple options, but normally every time I play these they give about 3 options. This time we only get the 1, so we have to go with the Forma. And really quick before we end the episode, we now have a new female Horus Kubro incubated on our PC account. So this is where I'm going to ask all of you for a good name for it. So leave me your suggestions in the comments below, and I'll choose my favorite one from there. And then I'll also give you a shout out in the next episode when she makes her miraculous appearance. Anyway, SnEaky Nation, that'll about do for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. As always, if you did, let me know by clicking like and favorite on the video. Subscribe if you're new to join us in SnEaky Nation for more videos like this and from other games in the future. Join us on our Discord server to make more friends within the community and also take part in our monthly giveaways that take place on there now. Subscribe on GameWhisper to get additional benefits on the channel. And finally, make sure you follow me on all my social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. You can find the links for all of this in the description below. And I will see you